Hello Internet, welcome to Jamiljiral. I am Jamil Silva and I'm explaining the menu system for Nikon D750. I have already explained one, which was the playback menu, and today I'm going to talk about the full photo shooting menu. As I told you in the previous episode, I will split this video according to those parts because I don't want the video to be too long, even though in some parts it won't happen because it's a quite comprehensive menu. So, with no further ado, let's go to photo shooting menu. It rhymed. Well, reset photo shooting menu. If you go to OK and you choose yes and press OK again, it will reset everything that you set here on the camera and basically will start from scratch again. Storage folder, once you can see here that is number 100. It means that all the pictures and all the videos are being recorded to a folder 100. But if you press OK, you can select folder by number and you can create more folders. For example, now I have folder 101. And if I go, for example, I want to create folder 100, 109, and then I will have different folders in the camera. It's quite handy because sometimes you want to sort out the pictures, for example, a shooting that you had in the morning, another one that you had in the afternoon and at night, or sometimes during the morning you have three different clients, and you want to sort out the pictures according to clients and according to events. It's quite handy, and you can work just or edit just the pictures of that client in that specific time. It's quite handy. Well, let's see if we have any option here. Select folder from the list is when you have already created folders. You can come here, select folder from the list, press here in this button, and you will choose all the folders. Of course, as I don't have folders, I haven't created any folders in here, I don't have options to choose. You just have the basic folder that came with the camera, which is 100, and for Nikon D750 is this machine, this camera. Now let's go back to menu. Now file naming. File naming is when you want to personalize the name of the file. You can leave the way it is, but you can also, just like in my case, write your initials or write the initials of a client or something like that if you have the time. If you press OK, you have file name. But first, before we go there, we have sRGB, JDS is my initials, IDO RGB, we have here a mark, and JDS, which are my initials. Well, let's go to file name. If you go here to OK, the camera keeps turning it off very often. It's because I set the camera to turn it off at every 5 seconds if I'm not mistaken, so that it can save up battery. But no problem, you can set up for 20 seconds or longer. Well, let's go to file name again. Let's press OK. Now let's press here to go to an alphabet and numbers. Here we have cursor, which you can choose here. The cursor, we're going to choose the letters and things like that. Can go up and down. And here we have input. If you press OK, and if I press OK now, the letter V will change J. J will be changed by the letter V. And in order to confirm the changing, I have to press OK, which is going to be this magnifying plus button. Let's just write, let's go back to menu again, file naming. Let's change J for A. For example, A is already set. Let's press OK. Now we have A, JS. Now I want to put my initials in here. So that now J is selected. If I want to select A, I press here. Can you see that the color has changed? Now it's a yellow color. I go here. Now A is selected. Now let's choose J. Now I'm going to write my initials again. OK. Now I'm going to change A for D. Now let's press OK, and A, I'm going to replace it for the letter S. And now it's OK. Now I need to confirm pressing this here. If I don't press the magnifying glass, the plus magnifying glass, the change will not happen. Now let's move to the next option, row played by card in slot 2. As I don't have another card here, this will not happen, but it can be programmed for that. Let's press OK. What do we have? What do you want to happen in card 2? For example, the first option, overflow. Overflow means that when the first card is full, the camera will start recording in card number 2. If you choose the option backup, it means that either your pictures or your movies will be recording them simultaneously in card 1 and card 2. And the third option, which is RAW slot 1, JPEG slot 2, it means that in card 1 will be recorded RAW format, and in slot 2 will be recorded JPEG files. That's quite simple. You can see that there is a line over this first option, which is overflow. It means that this is the option that is set now. If I set, for example, RAW slot 1 and JPEG slot 2, I'm going to press OK. Let's go back there. You're going to see, you can notice that the line has already changed to that option. But I want overflow. I don't want this option. Now, as I press OK, and OK, overflow is when I'm shooting, when I'm working, I choose backup. If I press backup, of course I need to have another card in here. Everything that I record in card 1 will be recorded in card 2, and then I have a backup while I'm working. Now let's go to image quality. Let's press OK. In image quality, I usually set for RAW, but you can also set JPEG fine, which is a better quality, JPEG normal, which is inferior than fine, and basic is just the JPEG basic. And here we have the options to record RAW files with JPEG fine, JPEG normal, and JPEG basic. Just remember the line is here. It means that only RAW is selected. Now let's go back to menu. I can just, if I just press here, it will go back to menu. Now let's talk about image size. As you can see, this option is not available. It's because the JPEG format is not available for this shooting. If I want this option to be available, I have to go here, image quality, and choose any kind of JPEG. I can choose JPEG plus RAW, or I just can choose JPEG, any kind of JPEG, and it's going to work. Now the option is available. Once it's available, I press OK, and now I have three options. I have large, which is going to use the 24 megapixels of this camera. I have a medium format, which is going to use almost half, which is 13 megabytes, and a small format with only 6, not megabytes actually, megapixels, only 6 megapixels. Then I choose the option that I have chosen here is the large option, because a camera like this, you want to take full advantage of its sensor and its potentiality. Then it's better choose a larger format, or even better if you choose to shoot in RAW. Now let's choose image area. What it does? Choose image area, which is written here, FX. FX, this camera is FX, a full frame camera. It means that the sensor here is a bigger one, and it has its properties and everything like that. If I choose the option FX, it means that I'm using the whole sensor, the whole area of the sensor to take the picture. But I also can choose just an option, just a portion of the sensor to be used. For example, I can choose 1 and 1.2, and I can use the GX format, 1.5. 1.5, just a little portion of the sensor will be used during the picture. We're not going to use the whole sensor, which I don't see the point for that, because if you buy a very expensive camera like this, which is a full frame camera, I believe you will be most using this option, FX camera. But at least you have options. You can choose DX and the other option here. And you can also use Auto GX crop mode, which is off. If you go here, you can turn it on and turn it off. It means that the camera will choose when she will use a full frame or a DX mode, which I don't see the point for this option, because you may want to choose this yourself. Now let's go back here, JPEG compression. Now let's press OK. In JPEG compression, we have size priority and optimal priority. Well, if you are worried about your card in here, if the card is not big enough to store pictures, maybe you want to think about size priority. But I think quality for me is more important. That's why I always choose optimal quality, because the pictures will have a better quality. And memory cards are not that expensive. Memory cards are not that expensive these days, so you can always buy more memory cards. Now let's set optimal quality. Now the next option that we have here is NAF recording, which it's a raw file. Raw file, when you shoot pictures in raw file, in a raw format, you just have one kind of size. It's not like JPEG that you have fine, you have medium, and you have basic. But you can choose, if you press OK, let's go back to menu, and let's go OK. First of all, let's choose the type. The type we have lossless, compressed, and compressed. Compressed, you're going to lose some information. And lossless, compressed, it means that the picture will use all the information that it can see through the lens and the sensor. Now let's go back to NF raw bit depth. If you go, which is set for 14-bit, I think it's better than the other, because we have 14-bit and 12-bit. 14-bit carries more information. You may want that in your camera. You want to take full advantage of the full potentials of this camera. Let's go back to menu again. Now we have white balance. Let's press OK. Just to start talking about white balance, if you don't know anything about white balance, if you live in cloudy, you're gonna be safe for most of your shooting. But if not, you come here and choose auto. The camera will choose white balance for you. White balance is when you have to match the light that you are in. For example, if you are using the sunlight has a color. If you are using a lamp of the street, it has a specific color, and those lights has to be matched in order to have a perfect picture. So let's go to white balance. You can use incandescent, which is a yellow. It has a yellowish color. You can choose fluorescent, which is like more a white color. You have options. You see the arrow in here. You have many options here for types of fluorescent, because we have many different types of lamps like that. Direct sunlight, flash, cloudy, which I recommend you to leave it there almost all the time. Shade. We have choose color temperature. This is quite handy. If you know what you're doing, you can set the number. The number comes from 2,500 to 10,000. Basically, it's like this. If you want to accentuate yellowish color from the sunset, for example, the number has to be higher than 5,000. If you want to highlight a bluish from a sky in the dusk, you will probably you will have to set a number lower than 5,000, and you will start from that and you learn from this. Now let's see about you can also have here preset manually your white balance. You can, for example, when you cannot determine the right color temperature in the ambient, you can put, for example, a white piece of paper or a white piece of cloth and do some and use take a picture, and the camera will calculate the white balance using this kind of thing. This is something that you're going to learn in the future. Well, set picture control. I always like to let this in vivid, because it will accentuate colors. I like to have very colorful pictures. I like this. I feel the happiness of a picture taken this way. But here we have options. We have the standard, You have neutral, vivid, which I like a lot. Monochrome is very useful. For example, when you are in a very bad lighting situation, you set this, and of course the picture will be like in black and white. But if you are shooting RAW, the color will be there, not in JPEG. But if you are shooting RAW, even though you take a picture in monochrome, the picture will be colored later. You can change that in Lightroom or another program. But monochrome is very good because when you are in a very bad lighting situation, you will use this to see if the picture was okay. If the picture is okay in monochrome, it means that the colors will also be very good too. Portrait, if you want to take pictures of people, you can set portrait, landscape, and flat. I don't think you're going to have many problems with that. Manage picture control. You can fine-tune those picture controls that we talk about, that we just talked about. Let's press OK to go. Save and edit. For example, I want to edit vivid. I want to fine-tune something here and something there, and then I fine-tune this and I save it. And let's go back here and gonna see. I can fine-tune everything: sharpness, clarity, contrast, brightness, and then I save this. I don't want to change anything now. And I save this, and then I can use this option every time I want. Okay, once I edit, I will come here, load and save. I can rename when I have this new this new picture control. I can copy to camera, delete from card, and things like that. I can when I fine-tune my options. Well, color space, which is set for sRGB, is the one that I like to use because it has more color information than Adobe RGB. Once again, R is for red, G is for green, and B is for blue. S is like super, we have more information using those colors. Active delighting, which is N for normal. Let's press here OK. We have auto, which the camera will decide for you. Extra high, high, normal, low, and off. I like to leave it normal. Of course, if you shoot in a raw format, it will not do anything. But if you shoot in JPEG, it will minimize a difference, a contrast in a picture that you have light and dark at the same time. You're going to have more information in those areas.